Hi, welcome to What Matters Speaks. Welcome to the good question. Okay, so I sat down and to meditate for the weekly reading, and then for some reason I felt called to also meditate just randomly, and I felt the question at the tip of my tongue should be, should I take the offer? So should you take the offer? And so I did just that. Well, and the reply kind of like confuses me a bit. I'm gonna be honest about this. So I'm just gonna tell you guys what I saw. And if anything comes in between that I feel called to share, I will share. I'm just gonna tell you the image and then you will make your own decision if you should or shouldn't, okay? Give me a minute. Oh, I just saw 111. So everything is coming together in the right sequence for you to obtain success. I just saw that and I felt called to like sharing it. And I just saw 1, 2, 3, which is the steps. So something is beginning. So should you take the offer? It seems more like a yes, but let me tell you about the images that I saw, okay? So the first image that I saw was I saw a bride. She was in a bride attire, so that's why I said a bride. And she was walking on the riverbank towards the river. And then the image switched and it became a hall. And then she was walking down the aisle, but no one was like there with her. No one was like walking with her. No one. I didn't see anyone in the hall. Okay. She was walking there down the aisle, and then she reached the end, and then she was facing her partner, but I couldn't see the partner either. And I can't tell also how she was feeling. I can't remember how she was feeling. If she looked happy, sad, worried, or whatnot, I couldn't tell. I can't recall. Anyway, she was like staring at her partner, and I think the ceremony was kind of like going on, but then the image was kind of like caught short by the appearance of a cliff, kind of. Imagine those highlands in Ireland. Ireland's coming out again the second time in one of my readings. Okay. In Ireland, like the high cliffs and then the Atlantic Ocean. Is it the Atlantic Ocean? Yeah, the ocean next to it. I am bad in geography, okay? Forgive that. And yeah, imagine that type of thing. But then I saw that at the top of it, water was like pouring down. Water was pouring down. And then the image switched. Well, I think the image kind of like remained, but then I saw that the clouds was like really low, but it felt more like, a piece of cloth. If you hold on to a piece of cloth and you keep putting like something in one point, it will get kind of like dip down. It will be pulled down. It felt like it, like something was the cloth or the clouds was like being filled in just one particular spot, and then the weight was pulling it down, but it didn't break. It was pulled down, but it didn't break. Uh-huh. It's all in the past. Like I'm hearing, it's all in the past. We're going to talk about that at the end, but let's continue. And then after that, I saw a very steep waterfall. And the water had some whiteness to it, so clarity is definitely in this. And I saw that the waterfall, well, at the end of the waterfall, the land had like lots of curves, and the water was just like, flowing. And then I saw a feminine presenting figure. She started to run alongside that particular water. But like the way you should imagine this is like, normally when you see water flowing, it's kind of like you cannot tell where it started. It all seems to be the same. But this particular water with the white substance in it seems to be like entering, just arriving in this waterfall. And then this feminine figure was like running alongside with it, But the round was cut short as well, because the water ended up like merging with the big ocean, and then it kind of like disappeared. And then I saw a field, and the field reminded me of the 2026 yearly reading. I believe, no, I know that. I saw back then was like horses riding. I think one was black, one was brown, and I think there was a third color as well. But this time I just saw the horse and I saw the rider. It was masculine presenting. It kind of reminded me of the hero in high fantasy, kind of like. And they were riding on this field, and that was exactly this. It literally was the same image as the 2026 yearly reading. There was one bit in the 2026 year where the horse, like a masculine presenting person, was riding a horse. I think it was a brown horse, just like this one, and they were just galloping on this field, which was like what it was an open field, so they had like this freedom. Last week reading was all about freedom, actually. You gaining freedom. And this person was riding in this free open field, but then they came across something that kind of like, it didn't cut it off, but it kind of like put a dip into it, and then the masculine figure kind of like fell off the horse, and I was like in the dark, but like they were not giving up. They were just following the flow, trusting, but kind of like going down it. And then they managed to break through, and then they landed on their horse again. They landed on their horse, and then they galloped away. They rode away. And freedom again. I'm hearing freedom again. And yeah. And then at one point, I cannot pinpoint when exactly I saw this one, but I saw a rack of clothes. That's how it's called, right? And some of them had the plastic protecting them, but two of them was like already unpacked, and the rag was on a body of water next to a waterfall. And yeah, it was there. I cannot pinpoint when I saw it. And the other thing that I noticed was after I saw the bride and then the wedding being cut short, I started to shake. Like, not trembling, but like I started to shake. And I felt, like, no kidding, initially I felt like someone had their hand on my head like this and was like moving me, like kind of like shaking me, kind of like. And then eventually the hand pressure kind of like disappeared, but the shaking didn't stop. Like, I was still shaking and moving. So to the question, should you take the offer? I heard a yes, to be honest. I heard a yes at the start of this, but then eventually, while seeing this images, I started to doubt it. So yes, take this offer, but always make sure that you read the contract very properly, people. Don't play with it. Read it. If you do not understand it, get help. If your stomach feeling is telling you no, then listen to it. But make sure it's your intuition speaking and not your fear for, fear of change and fear of something new. But the way I see it, this contract that you're about, this offer that you're about to take, it's either it's gonna require you to commit. So maybe this offer might be married for you people, for some of you. Some of you got married, eh? Congratulations. But for some, you're entering a partnership that you can call a marriage, because it's gonna require you to commit, like proper commit, and it's gonna be a long-term thing, not something that's just short-term. But because it was cut out, so the ceremony was cut out, well, was cut short. And then I saw this highlands that reminded me of Ireland. It might be that it's gonna bring in some fruit. You're definitely receiving something from it. It's not going to like be a failure. You're gonna get something from it. And I believe the sky, the cloud that was like dipping down, being pushed down from all the weight of whatever was being put in, just signalizes that, like what? You're getting something out of it. You're getting something out. You're not breaking. You're not breaking. You're getting something out of this. And clarity is also with you. But this is the thing again. I believe, this is what I believe. Oh, I just saw 1111. 1111. I believe. Do whatever you want with that. I believe that the wedding, this commitment, say yes if you're ready to commit. Say yes to this offer if you're ready to commit. And if you're ready to go all the way. And I believe that afterwards, the images that I saw, so basically the water that was pouring out, the deep, the pressure that was like pulling down the clouds, might be your past experiences. You needed to break out of your comfort zone. And you did the work. It didn't break you. Well, it may be break you in some ways, but like it shaped you. It reshaped you. But it also granted you a certain level of clarity. And this was something you were able to run with for a while. But then eventually you lost track of what is what. Okay, you lost track of what is what was what. And it's not a bad thing though to lose track of what was what, because you were able to break through regardless. You were able to break through. You followed your highest excitement. I'm back to the horse. You follow your highest excitement. You rode out. You took action. And you experienced a certain type of freedom with it, because that what you're about to say yes to is kind of like your calling. And that, of course, nothing is ever going to be smooth. There are going to be some ups and downs. But when you experience the down, you didn't give up. And you stuck to it. You kept doing it. And at the end of the day, you learned, you came out of it. And instead of like starting from the top again, you just continue your ride with the same horse. So basically, you didn't give up. And you start again. But you start again with more knowledge. So if, for example, you failed in the past a particular business, but doing you allow yourself to experience the whole process of it, and then you learn from it, and then when you're out, you knew exactly that that's your calling, so you stuck to it. You didn't give up, and now you build with it. So this offer is kind of like an extension. It's going to actually help you establish yourself. So, I just saw 1414. Is 1414 the one that means that you are the artist, or is it 1313? But yeah, you are the artist of your life. So the decision lies more with you. Are you willing to commit? Are you willing to go on this journey? Are you willing to ride with the flow? To love something as much as you can, but also be able to let it go when it's time. The white substance mixing in with the ocean, but then disappearing. Are you able to hold something, build something, and then when it's time, you let it go and let it take whatever form it needs to take? So I think, even though I started this meditation with the question, should I take the offer? Yes, take the offer. But there is more to this offer than just you getting an offer. This is something that is long term. This is something that's going to challenge you as a person to build something and to let it go. To not give up and to keep going, keep trusting in yourself. To not break, because it's going to require you a lot. It's going to require things from you, and you're going to gain things as well. You're going to gain freedom. Again, we have freedom again in here. Last week was also about freedom, and this week we have freedom again. So you're gaining freedom. So freedom is whatever that is to you, but you're gaining freedom from this experience. Because the last image was the rider riding off with his horse on this wide field. Yeah, it's freedom. So this offer is definitely gonna enable you to get the freedom that you desire, but it's gonna require a little bit more from you in between. So say yes if you're really ready for this, because the commitment is going to be the same as getting married. Okay, so yeah, say yes, but make sure you read the contract again, and make sure you get lawyers if you need to get lawyers. And if you're feeling, your emotions are telling you then listen to that, as long as it's your intuition speaking and not fear and doubt. And yeah, that's it. But also, interpret this message how you like, and according to your situation and what you believe. And yeah, so don't just take my word for it, okay? Use your own judgment. Listen to your intuition. You already have all the answers in you. I don't need to tell you, I just give the guidance, okay? But listen to your inner self. Listen to your inner voice. What is it saying to you about this offer? And then act on it. So congratulations if you're gonna say yes, and make the best out of this. You got this. Bye.